Hey everyone, it's Char from Char's Fashion Nation, and today I'm teaching you how to take some of the scrap fabric. Now remember, I don't like putting back in the landfill, I don't like being wasteful. So today, like I said, I will be teaching you how to make a stuffed animal out of your scrap fabrics or maybe an old garment that you have, but this is scrap fabric. I still have those yoga pants that I made out of the same fabric and a couple of undergarments that I made out of the same fabric. I have a lot of this left. So what you want to do is just make sure that your edges match up as much as possible before we even put this on the machine. So obviously this is the outside, this is the inside, this is the outside, and what we have here is your inside. So we're just going to pin those, and this is a stretchy fabric, so I can always change my setting on here to whatever I want. And that's very key important, is that you always have your sewing machine set on a proper setting with a proper stitch setting, so that the foot, which you can always change out if your machine comes with different feet, so that you can just change that out. And yeah, so let's get started on this just by pinning it. And the reason why I made the head so big when I cut it out like that is because some of this is going to be taken in, so you don't have to worry about that, and then it's trimmed away. Absolutely. Now, yesterday I stuffed it from the head down, and as we go we can stop and stuff this. So that's not really going to be any big issue for making stuffies out of scrap fabric. Okay, and I know you heard that.
Come here. You know you're not supposed to be back here. Last time we got locked in my bedroom, you were in little sneaky room.
So, anyway, let's continue this, and you can just start your pins from just the top, and then we'll work around. So, and then you need to make sure that your needle is threaded. And I didn't thread this last night, I was getting really tired, so we will just take and make sure that, because you have a little white spot right here, let me shut the light off on that, you have a little white spot right here on your sewing machine for the needle and all that. Like, not a lot of people think about utilizing that for a specific reason. Bring your needle up to where the eye of the needle matches with that, and there's a specific reason why, because once you switch this light on, it helps you to see through the eye of the needle. So hopefully Kicking It with Chris is paying attention to, here you go, right through. Now this takes some practice. If you're a noob at this will take you some practice. Don't be afraid to do the granny, like lick your fingers. Nah. Don't be afraid to do that, or have your hands lotioned to where you get just a smidge of that on the thread. Sometimes it helps to make it go through better. Use my bifocal, that'll help. I have that invisible line on my bifocal, which is awesome. Let me tell you something. If you have to get glasses, get bifocals if they recommend it, and get the Invisalign. Trust me, get that Invisalign. Oh, Yeah, so like I said, I left this rounded like that for a reason. And we're going to go ahead and put this on the machine. Now the ears, I'm literally going to stitch on the outside, give it some more character. And always remember to leave your sewing pin case open if you don't have a pin cushion. That way it's easier to be able to get. And this is what I do. Like, I will lay this down and then take out the first pin. Take it like this. And now back stitch. Now, every machine has a different area where their back stitch is. Mine just happens to be here because it's the Singer Heavy Duty 4452. Now, I got this one at the Hobby Lobby and I love it because you can sew any fabric. Take it and make sure you don't sew over a sewing pin because 9 times out of 10 you're going to break the needle. Make sure it's close but not under the foot. Now, eventually, because I had a request for showing how to take in your clothes by hand, and yes, I will do that. I've done that before for my own clothing, and it does come in handy, especially if you are on that journey. If you're on that journey and like fellow YouTube creators have gotten the stomach sleeve done because of their diabetes, and you lose so much weight that, I always say be careful. Be careful when you go for things like that because our fellow creators ending up sick here and there, and I'm wondering if it's a reaction from the surgery. Now, as you see, what I'm doing here is I'm turning the fabric as I go. Make sure your fabric is matching on the ends. I mean, it doesn't have to match completely on this end because we're taking this on a 1-inch seam allowance on the outside. Now, if you're not totally sure that you can turn it like that, you can always leave the needle down, take your foot up, okay, and then turn as you go. But that's going to take longer, but if you're a seasoned sewer like I am, it goes a little quicker. And that's why I bring this stuff to you guys, so that you can learn and have fun while you're learning. Remember, go slow when you do this because you want to make sure that you don't have something in the way so that doesn't get sewn down. See, that would not have been a happy accident. That would have been a disaster. But that's why we pay attention. because now this is where the little arm is right here. That's the little arm. So, or leg, whichever, call it, leg or arm. This is the one fabric. Just a bit, and then turn. Along. This would also show you how you can do a garment. This could definitely show you how you can also do a garment. So this area right here would show you how you can sew for a shirt minus the sleeve. The sleeve obviously you leave open. So, and you know, it could also show you how you can make a little jumpsuit for one of your kids. Is laying the fabric out and taking two of their garments, and I'll teach you guys this, two of their garments, and make it into like a romper or a jumpsuit. Maybe for you or a family member. Oh, and here's a tip. If you have a striped fabric, make sure that you follow along one of those lines to keep your lines straight. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm following this line, which I'm glad you can see on camera. Turn it to fit. You're going to make a foot. Now here's where you make the stuffed animal's foot. Start turning your fabric. You're going to be like, what? What? That's how you do it? Absolutely, peoples. Absolutely. Now, when we get to a certain point here, is when I'm going to start stuffing this leg. Or I can always wait and then make it a little harder on myself. But if you feel like some of this is in your way right here, don't worry about it. You can always cut that away. Just here, I'll demonstrate that for you. Always have handy scissors. And then this, of course, you know, you can add into your scrap fabric to stuff the stuffy with. Like I said, you know, this gives your stuffies their own personality when you make them yourself. And what I mean by, you know, just taking this in here, let's say like we demonstrate right here on this little paw. So we might want to do that before we get up here and start closing off. So just take some of your scrap like this, just take it. But I'm going to demonstrate right here. I'm not going to leave it there because this is the outside. So I'm just demonstrating that you just take that and just stuff it in there. But I'm going to leave one part open before I whip stitch that off, because that part I will whip stitch. The sections I leave open, I will whip stitch. So it's not like you basically leave a part. What I might do is leave a part right here and then whip stitch because I need to stuff that, or because if I plan on leaving this side open and then stuff it, I'm going to be doing a lot of whip stitching, and basically we just want to get it done. This is just going to be like a whimsical, stripy, I'm going for a bear, but could end up being a stripy dog or a stripy cat. Okay, and we turn because this is the guffet area of the little animal. sure that your fabrics are in the right direction. And turn it right here because it's a little like that. Just make sure it's turned, and that way your fabrics lay flat. You need that to lay as flat as possible. If you have to adjust one of the pieces from the underneath, do that. Adjust it until this lays flat, and then stitch. And I can't get demonetized for anything in the background. That's not my fault. And like, here's what I was telling you. Turn it if you feel you need to turn it, and that's all there is to it. This is where you start turning your fabric again. Bring that up if you feel it's puckering. One thing I recommend you do, because there's a little spot right here for loosening this to change the needle, watch that, because that can actually hit your fingers. So always be careful with that. I don't want you to hit your fingers and get hurt. Like, this fabric was puckering a little bit. This almost looks like a little person. Almost like a little doll. Oh, I'm not a fan of dolls. I will make them for other people and ship them out immediately. I am not a fan of dolls. I think dolls are creepy. Like I've said in the past, the original origin of a doll is the soul keeper of the doll. Okay, make sure that the little arm is together. Look, that looks like a little heart. Aren't we in love with that? Try to make this a little humorize. And like I said, if you feel that your material puckers, bring it up and it unpuckers your material. I don't drive, but I'll tell you what, the sewing machine drives my enthusiasm to be more creative. Oh, and bring it to you. Now there's a reason why I'm going to leave this open, because I have to turn everything right side out. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn that. And then when I get to right up here, I'm going to stop sewing, turn everything right side out. Did something happen here? Like, I feel like some thread went awry. Maybe it did it for a reason. Am I out of bobbin? Oh, I'm out of bobbin. That's okay. The because I have a noob sewing, which is kicking it with Chris, I can give you my little tip and trick to, let me get some of these off, to spinning the bobbin, so that you know that when you're actually spinning the bobbin, you're not going to mess it up. Because these can be a bit tricky sometimes, you know, like you put it over here, this portion has been shut off. Flip that way and it goes back to this. So I always set it over here, set it on that side. Okay, now I'm gonna turn this right side out, which may be a little difficult for some parts of it, but we can do this. One thing handy to have is long fingers and skinny hands. Oh, that's true. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how skinny my... And here's another little trick. It's like turning a sock right side out. I was joking with a friend last night, being like, hey, because I use my middle finger to push out the material on another stuffy. Here, I'll show you that stuffy. I made this stuffy last night, and I think that this is adorable. Isn't that adorable? It's a little mouse. It's got its little tail. And I made this last night. Isn't that cute? Obviously, you know what fabric it is, but isn't that cute? Little button for a nose and buttons for eyes. And the little legs and a puppy belly. But here's the trick about this. Now, I made this in the scoop design like this because, let's say you're taking a trip somewhere, you're on the plane with your kid. Your kid not only has a stuffy, but a neck pillow. It's a 2-in-1, or you're traveling in the car, it's the same thing. Your kid has a stuffy and a neck pillow. And it may actually soothe your kid, depending on the age, or any child for that matter, to have a stuffed animal that's also a neck pillow. So that's my concept in this particular design. I know it may look a little funny to some people, but this is made like this for a reason, because it's a 2-in-1. So, I don't have the option to pause this on this laptop. I don't know why. Oh, there's a picture of a sunset in Florida, or I should say a sunrise in Florida when I was on my vacation. Isn't that pretty? That's pretty. I have to be silly today for some reason, just silliness. So yeah, I just thought this was really adorable. So I'm gonna get this turned right side out. Little legs and all. Turned right side out for you guys. So let's not skip a leg here. It'll be skippity-doo-dah on that. So I really hope that this helps you, because I might do this doll in a couple of parts. Or doll. Stuffed animal in a couple of parts. Because I want to be able to show you, but also not take up too much time in your day. You know, I know a few of you be like, trust me, you're not taking up too much time in my day. Okay, but this one doesn't want to turn, and I think that's because this is the open one. So I'm going to go ahead and trim away the extra fabric. Sometimes that really helps, because this extra fabric on the outside sometimes, and it'll do this, will keep you from turning that stuffy limb the way you need it. So just like trim that, and there you go. And the other reason why it doesn't look like the other limb yet is because, well, pretty sure you get it because I don't have this part sewn yet on this side, so that will happen. But let me get this other leg popped through, because there's another leg at the bottom. Not that we're legging it at any point. Another good thing to have is a knitting needle, which, let me grab a knitting needle real quick. Yes, I knit as well. I don't know what I don't know how to do yet. Haven't gotten that far, people. But let me grab that. I always keep things rather handy over here in the dresser. I keep it handy in the dresser. Top drawers for specific things, including my knitting needles. And I'm just going to put this back here. I have to get some embroidery thread to finish this dragon, and then I'll be teaching you guys embroidery. I embroider. I embroider. I sew, I knit, I crochet, I bake, I cook. Physics, science isn't that hard. It's not. Okay, so it's like you can take this end or this end. What I did when I got these is I actually, yeah, that's the other limb. I had actually taken a nail file and filed down the edges so that they weren't all pokey sharp, you know? And, because I don't want it to poke through material when I do this, because that actually helps shove that through. Now, if you don't like using this end of it, if this end is able to fit through, just use that and push it through. It's really about all there is to it. And now that we have to get the other limb through, I will show you that. And this video's almost been 30 minutes already. You wouldn't have thought that 30 minutes already went by. And trim some of this fabric back. Most of you probably thought I wasn't going to do a video on something today, just to take kind of a break, because I have to gather some stuff together for my winners. Yes, indeed. Actually, I need to get it all done by today and tomorrow. So by tomorrow night, I need to have everything ready to roll out the door for Tuesday. Now, I'm also going to poke through on this limb, make sure I'm using this end of it to make sure that this is actually pushed all the way through. So you want to make sure of that. Now, this is what we have so far without stuffing it. Now, when it comes down to the stuffing, take your scraps, and I'm going to take the scraps I just cut off too, and grab an extra scrap from over here and stuff that in the little arm. And that's the other thing that this comes in handy for, is to helping to stuff the scrap right in there. It does, it helps. That way when you're doing this, it's no big deal. You're able to just get it done. Get her done. You will just get her done. Okay, the limb is filled, and then I'll do the same thing with the legs. And now, one thing I'm not sending through the mail is these. These are also a little costly. I will tell you that. You think Ecuador's costly. Some things in America are costly, including these rotary cutters and the mats, the cutting mats. Now, Chris, that's something you might want to think about getting while you're here in America, visiting with your familia. is a cutting mat and a rotary cutter, but be very, very careful. Now, there are rotary cutters. I don't have to worry about this because I'm very safe with this. There are rotary cutters that come with a piece that flips back and then flips back over when you're done with it. Child safety. I know you still have your youngest son, so, and well, your kids in general. So, in order to keep them safe with a rotary cutter in the house, make sure that when you're not using it, you're smart. Yeah, pretty sure you'll make sure that you have like sewing stuff that you tell the kids that they can touch and they can't touch. You're smart. And I'm sure you do that anyway with some stuff in your place. So yeah, that fabric did not want to go down there, so we'll kind of lengthen it out. And that's something else. Also, if you can't get your scrap fabric in there, kind of lengthen it out a bit. And then put it in the limb. So, like I said, I like to make fun, whimsical things. And I think making something like this is fun and whimsical. What kid doesn't like a whimsical toy? I don't know. I do not know a kid that does not like a whimsical toy. Something special just for them, made just for them, custom. It's always great. I'm just going to take this end and go ahead and push that in there. So it's like utilizing the whole entire like knitting needle for this. Now they do have just like tools, sewing tools you can use, but if you already have something, use it. Use that tool. Some people use a screwdriver to do this, to tell you the truth. But I'm careful not to do that because you can actually rip the fabric. So I have to work that fabric down in there. But when I go to finish this off here, I'm going to have to whip stitch because I need to fill that body at the same time. But you see, like, we have one little arm stuffed over here. Like I said, I'm going to kind of try to make this into a bear. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but hey, we can try. It's either going to, like I said, that took in a lot of fabric. You can tell right here from right here what a difference. What a difference. So we're already 33 minutes into this video, and I'm gonna make this sewing tutorial in parts. So stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. And I'll be back. I'll be back after I get this stuffed. I will be back because I have to finish, and I'll show you the whip stitch, which, by the way, you can use the whip stitch to also take in garments, and that'll help. So this is kind of like a 2-in-1 today. Not only am I, well, I don't know, maybe it's a 3-in-1. It's like I'm showing you how to do this because when I come back, I'll show you how to spin that bobbin. That's important. I have a noob for sewing. You're gonna need to know how to spin that bobbin and which sizes of bobbins, and I'll let you know. You might as well get these. This is my spare pack, but I don't know which sewing machine you're gonna get, so I don't know if this would fit what you have. Now you can get these really inexpensive at Walmart. I got these for like 89 cents, and there's 4 bobbins in here, and that's pretty inexpensive for a Singer product. Yeah, that's really inexpensive for a Singer product. Wow. This is a class 66 bobbins. So, and obviously they have it in other languages. So, if you know para inglés, and you parle espagnol, and oh, the other part's in French. Okay. Yeah, the other part's in France. So, parlez-vous français? You can do that. I only speak a little bit of each language, and I don't know why. I just do. But yeah, that's what you would get. And the Singer bobbins fit most machines, not all machines, but most machines. And I will teach you guys about that in another video. But let me go because I have to, prepare myself for getting back into this and, get this stuffed correctly because that's not right. It's not right. So, yeah, let me do that. And I will be back soon with the second part of like spin the bobbin, have this stuffed, and getting ready to whip stitch it shut. So, that'll be fun. See you soon.